true. The truth was worse. The truth was unspeakable. He straightened and looked around in the darkness. Wan light from the crescent moon in the cloud-streaked sky made the shadows deeper, and Zeb feared the shadows. Then he spotted a curving glint of light from the chrome on his bike's front wheel. He ran to it, yanked it by the handlebars from its hiding place, and hopped on. His aging knees protested as he pedaled away along dark and silent streets lined with dark and silent houses, heading south when he should have been going west, but away was all that mattered now. Lakewood was a small town, maybe 10 miles from the Atlantic Ocean, a place where the Rockefeller family was said to have vacationed. So it didn't matter much if he headed south or north. He wouldn't be far from the place he now called home. The town was once home to 50,000 or more, before the undead came. Now he'd be surprised if there were 1,000 left. He'd heard it was the same all up and down the East Coast. The exertion helped clear his mind. He had to be careful. Prudent he hadn't been. In fact, he'd been downright reckless tonight, venturing out after sundown, and sneaking up on St. Anthony's. Schmuck. What had he been thinking? He prayed he didn't pay for it with his life. Or worse. He shuddered at the thought of ending up the victim in a ceremony like the one he'd witnessed tonight. He had to find temporary shelter until dawn. Even then he wouldn't be safe, but at least there wouldn't be so many shadows. The blue serge suit coat that had once fit rather snugly now hung loose on his half-starved frame and flapped behind him as he rode. He'd had to punch new holes in his belt to hold up the pants. He'd complained so often about not being able to lose weight. Nothing to it, really. Simply don't eat. His ever-hungry stomach rumbled. How could it think of food after what he'd just seen? A shadow passed over him. A blast of cold dread banished any concern about his next meal. His aging neck protested as he glanced up at the sky, praying to see a cloud near the moon. But the glowing crescent sat alone in a clear patch of night. No, please. He increased his speed, his legs working like pistons against the pedals. Not a flying one. Zeb heard something like a laugh above and behind him. He ducked, all but pressing his face to the handlebars. Something swooped by, clawing at the back of his coat as it passed. Its grip slipped, but the glancing impact was enough to disrupt Zeb's balance. His front wheel wobbled. The bike tipped to the left and hit the curb, sending him flying. Zeb landed hard on his left shoulder, his lungs emptying with a grunt. His momentum carried him onto his back. What he saw circling above him made him forget his pain. He rolled over and struggled to his feet. He instinctively checked the yarmulke, clipped to his thinning gray hair, then gripped the cross dangling from a string around his neck. That might save him in close quarters, but not from a creature that could swoop down from any angle. He felt like a field mouse under the cold gaze of a hawk. He started running. He didn't know where he was going, but knew he had to move. The bike was no good. He needed a tight space where his back was protected, and he could use the cross to keep his attacker at bay. One of these houses, maybe, a basement, even a sewer drain. Any place but out here in the open where... Here! Over here! A woman's voice, calling in a stage whisper to his left. Zeb looked across an overgrown lawn, saw only a large tree, a pine of some sort with branches almost brushing the ground. Quick, in the tree! A trap, maybe. A team, this could be. A winged one, driving prey into the arms of another on the ground. He'd never heard of anything like it. But that meant nothing. A glance over his shoulder showed him that the creature had half folded its wings and was diving his way from above. No choice now. Zeb veered left for the tree and whatever waited within its shadowed branches. He was almost there when the woman's voice shouted, "Down!" Zeb obeyed, diving for the grass. He heard a hiss of rage, felt the wind from the creature's wings as it hurtled past, no more than a foot or two above him. He lurched back to his feet and staggered forward. Pale hands reached from the branches and pulled him into the shadows. "Are you all right?" the woman said. He couldn't see her. She was a shadow among the shadows, but her voice sounded young. "Yes. No. If you..."